start where you are, do what you can, and it's like whatever you have, something like that.
Yeah.
So I am a believer. Capital is an excuse, but courage and confidence
Okay.
and action is the way to go. First, believe that no one is coming to save you. You yourself, your hand holds your success.
Hello, dear viewers. It's my hope that you are doing great wherever you are. It's been long, but finally we are back to talk about or to impact more knowledge about businesses, how to start up businesses and being successful in life. And as usual, I'm joined by my great or my long-time colleague, because nowadays I'm a millionaire, so you're my colleague. I
Thank
call
you.
him Ayala Abdirashid,
Yes.
who is going to talk about or is going to teach us some of the psychological barriers that prevent people from starting businesses or growing. Welcome again, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you, dear Rajab. I'm also privileged to co-host with you this show, since we are also looking for great hosts, but at least for us, the journey to a million steps starts with one step.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
we're in the process, and today we're here to give you a great topic, a short but very weighty business topic.
Okay.
And I'm pleased to make our viewers enjoy this show.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
Talking about the psychological barriers that prevent people from starting businesses, we understand that at the position you're sitting right now, you're the CEO of around 8 schools, if
Yes.
I'm not wrong.
Thank you.
This means that you did not wake up and buy all these 8 schools. You started from one school, the second school, got motivated to buy even more. And I understand that you even have dreams of buying many more schools. Maybe to that listener or viewer viewing you right now, what is this advice that you can give him, especially that a person who fears even starting with one school?
Okay, that's a great. By the way, you introduced me in a great way. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur staying here in Africa. Was built almost 8 schools and other businesses, but the journey is now on our first. We are on 1% in terms of loading, 99% remaining. So major problem of most entrepreneurs and most people is that they fear starting, and fear is paralyzing them to start any project, any meaningful things. But fear is something we all can face. Yes.
Yeah. That's
And fear, the antidote of fear is now momentum. Just you are fearing, but fear is natural. But the antidote is supposed to be momentum, starting and doing. When you start doing, when you start getting one sale, when you start talking to something that you fear most in your life, which is maybe a customer, that one sale you make gives you that, and then the fear fades away. I think number one thing that stops many people starting any project is not lack of capital. Many people in their graveyards, it's because they are dying with the greatest and the best ever ideas. They have the greatest ideas, but what separates winners and losers and great ideas is that those who take action now are the ones who get the bread.
Okay.
If you don't take any meaningful action with your idea, what is now the rest you analyze, paralyze, that's way to make your idea die. And more people are dying in their graveyard. Everyone has a big vision, a big thing, but those who make and those who don't make, you understand now?
Yeah.
You get my concept, yes.
Okay, I get you. You're talking about fear.
Yeah.
But how can you convince me, or how will you advise me to overcome this fear so that I can start it without any challenge?
As I said, the best way to overcome fear is just start. How do you start? Make that one visit call. Make a visit to something you fear. If you are leasing a property, go and ask nearby properties, how can you get this shop? How can you get this door? But the moment you fear the landlord, you fear everyone, and you have the greatest idea, what if they reject me? People fear rejection. And then when you're coming to this league of business, rejection is supposed to be a new passport. Everyone will be slamming in your face. No, not this, not that. When you're starting, you don't have a big connection. You can't get the best deals. Even the products, when you're purchasing, you'll be given the highest price because it's landing a high price to you. But the moment you're a seasoned entrepreneur, the same product, your competitor who sells more you'll be sweet talked by the distributors, the suppliers, you understand?
Yeah.
But the opposite, when you're starting, you are against the odds. It's like you are climbing a mountain. It takes the first 3-4 years hard to crack the code. But once you start cracking the code, you take actions, you start believing one time at a time. You start believing this thing, you make the first sale, second sale. You start talking to 100 people, 90% of them reject you, only 10 will buy from you. Now you said, if every 100 people rejected me and only get 10 sales, why do I care? Let me go and face the 1,000 clients or 1,000 customers. Now I get 100 sales. You understand?
Yeah.
For every, let's assume 90% will reject you, 10% will say to you. Even is a good proportional. Those who ask, they get receiving. You see, you ask a lot of questions, you start receiving the right answers. But if you don't ask anything, you ask 10 people, you don't get anything. But you increase your scope. With time, with the right building of stacking of skills, I think you become a seasoned person. I think that way, I think it can be the cure or the antidote of not starting or fearing.
Okay, and you have explained properly about how to overcome this fear. But let's take in this scenario. You have advised me, talk to me properly about how I can overcome this fear. But I don't have the capital. One person will face you and tell you, Mr. Mohammed, okay, I right now I don't have the fear, but I also don't have the capital. How will I peruse through this challenge?
I think capital, I can say most entrepreneurs is an excuse. Capital is not supposed to stop you. But a person who has a vision, I think your first number one focus is supposed to be value. How can you solve a customer's problem? That customer's problem, the moment you know how to solve, like example in Mombasa, Mombasa water is salt, yes? Why? A lot of water vendors are distributing water, all normal houses, you understand? We have the taps are not working. You understand? Here in Mombasa, we stay in Kenya, for example, is an island within the town. No fresh air, no fresh as the recording of today. All the houses don't have the original the spring waters. You understand?
Yeah.
Everyone now, the most vendors are distributing water. What does a customer in Mombasa who needs daily usage of water in terms of consumption? Not every house are borehole for the salt water, which is used for laundry, other thing. No, but we are talking clean drinking water for cooking. You understand? You can't cook with salt water. Already there is a crisis here in Mombasa. You understand? Those who have now the purification, they have wells that are now having those machines. Will they not sell more? Yes.
They'll sell
What
more.
are they solving? They are solving the client's problem, the Mombasa resident's problem, which is lack of water. The moment you start solving that lack of water, you give the customer a solution. Will they not pay you? They will pay.
Yeah.
Now that is there. And then capital is an excuse. But a person who wants to start something badly, he can utilize whatever he has at hand. Now, you have finished university. How many languages can you speak? Many. Your mother tongue, there's also Kiswahili, English, little Arabic, if you're a Muslim, you understand?
Yeah.
That's an asset for you. The moment you create something, you're a small company, you go to online. Will you not find out some things? Yes. What do you need? You only need a Wi-Fi, a small place, and a laptop. And most probably, in your campus, yes, what were you using? You having some online thing, yes?
Yeah.
And still maybe you used to do side hustle, you understand?
Yeah.
Were you needing more capital?
No.
You can borrow a laptop from your friend, is it?
That's true.
Whatever you don't have, someone else has. If you have a phone, that's an asset. An average African person today can access a second-hand iPhone or just a smartphone. And you have a Wi-Fi. Every house now has a Wi-Fi. Even you can stay with your neighbor and there's a way you get the password. You crack the password, no excuse for you or no excuse for who is watching. You can start with whatever you have, where you are, and whatever you have. I think there's a saying, I always quote, my first ever quote was, start where you are, do what you can, and whatever you have, something like that.
Yeah.
So I am a believer. Capital is an excuse, but courage and confidence and action is the way to go.
You have explained perfectly, but when I get to hear you properly, I think I also understand you're talking about solving the problem with what you have.
Yeah.
But I may also ask you, or the viewer may also ask you, you're talking about me solving this problem with this little that I have. But which mindset should I also have to solve this problem?
Which mindset?
Should I have to break or build myself?
I think the first, I think I can categorize up to 3 mindsets. The first is, I am responsible for myself, not for myself, for anything you want to do. That's the number one thing, because here, mostly people, their mindset makes them imprisoned. your mind can imprison you for your success. First, believe that no one is coming to save you. You yourself, your hand holds your success. First, once you start believing that, second is start now. That's the mindset. Start now. Don't wait the perfect time. Start with what you have. You already said start with what you have. Do what you can, whatever you have. You understand?
Yeah.
Imperfection. You just start. And I say a good example, when I was starting this brand of schools, the first days I was starting, wallah, you're going to feel. Now I'm well built. Those days I was thin. My ears are small now. They all used to come out of here. Whenever I go to directors meeting of the school directors, no one could fit me. This young boy cannot be a director or he cannot manage anything. I could quote and say I'm manager for my parents. You understand? But I was the one who's in charge of starting. I was the one who was bringing the team. I think by starting in perfect way, I started in a location where now the Glorious, we're here in town. We have branches across all over Mombasa. But then I was starting a dusty place somewhere. People were not giving. Even I remember a neighbor, used to doubt me. You're going to make here. Why waste your money? Start something better. But that neighbor today, I've surpassed him almost 1,000 times, I know. But sometimes when people discourage you, you prove them wrong. Even close family within my family, they used to tell me, why do you shift the family and you're starting a place here? Will you know tomorrow they're going to come back here? To him, he was successful and he's a multi-millionaire today, mashallah. But I proved him wrong. But today, I don't want to name him. I'm now also, he came into my sphere and now today, he's just, I think he's having his own school. After seeing, when you prove others wrong, until now they come into your industry.
Okay.
Nothing sweeter than that, yes?
Yeah.
We bought for him a school. We have done it. That's our 8th school. He's my uncle. And now I've already proved him. Now he's having his own school. He's running. He's already testing whatever, the sweetness. So that is now, start where you are in perfect way. Then things will grow. I was fearful. Later, after one step, the other. And then God has blessed us day by day, year by year. After 8 years now, alhamdulillah, more branches, and alhamdulillah. Then the last one is,
and before you go to the last one, there is that one Gen Z outside there will get to listen to you. Right now, there are more advisors than the listeners. So one among the fewest listeners will get to listen to you and the story that you have said. When I was starting, I was slim, very small ears. And someone will say, when you were starting, you had nothing. But now you have 8 schools. You are eating with a big spoon. Maybe, is that true?
Yes, alhamdulillah, it's true today. But I think the early years has shaped me because nothing is sweeter than when you are proving others point wrong. I proved one of my family close until he bought his own building. He was worth a lot. Now he runs his own school. Now is our 8th school. Just after seeing me build almost 7 schools, the 8th one that became his. And nothing sweeter than someone coming to your sphere. I may go to the business he's in, almost I'm planning, God willingly. But those were the early days. Whatever I'm saying, it is just intertwined with me when I was starting. Any start of a business, the fear is there. I was just starting. What if the family took out of this building? And then the children are there, 10 students there. There are almost 6 teachers. The teachers and the students, the teachers were more. They need salaries. Parents are not paying. Some parents were disappearing. My school fees, for the first time, a parent brought me up to 8 schools. I remember 7 students. And then they stayed. They give you, in Kenya we say Kiswahili. They mesmerize me until the last day when I want to pay them. I chase them away. Why? Because that's the foundation of a business. If nobody is not giving you a value, you're giving them value. They're not giving you back your value. Just send them. I send them the 7, few remain in the school, but what remain is a long legacy, strong foundation, and now no one jokes with us. You get a good clarity, good service, good value for your money. You pay us. If you're not paying us, you don't have anything. Just go. Because in this society, the way I've talked, responsibility starts with you. There are workers who are working with you. They need money. You can't give them excuses. You have to pay them. Then the business or the client or the parent must pay you for you also to offset your obligation. I think the first is the responsibility. You own it. That's when I owned it, alhamdulillah. Second was start it in perfect way. You don't have to wait tomorrow. You don't have to die with your idea. I started with one branch, and later now, alhamdulillah, now I'm believing more. Now I can purchase another school in the market.
Okay.
And lately, I think the last one before we close, before we say the 3 mindsets, I think, is grow publicly. Those who knew me then, 2016, almost few have followed up with me. I think one of my early former classmates, she was my university mate. Later, she came for a strategy session with me after seeing, she telling me, Mohammed, I really grew up. You know, you really grew. Of course, those who know me, you know, although I don't use Facebook, but I already grew, alhamdulillah. I'm no longer the Ayale they knew 8 years, 9 years ago, who was just a university graduate. Now I'm a responsible a father, alhamdulillah, kids, with 2 kids, with a vision, with almost more to come on the way, and I'm just in only 1%. I just stick to my percentage in terms of battery. 99% is the vision to check and see.
Okay, and also talking about maintaining from one school. Right now, we are talking about 8 school.
Yeah.
At this point, we are talking about consistency. How can someone maintain this consistency?
Okay, consistency. You know, consistency. Early days, consistency is slow. Like for example, like you, for example, you want to join a gym, but you want to have 6 abs within 6 weeks. That's a lie. People say those who are showing us the
But
6.
YouTube says it's possible.
No, those are clickbait. You know, that's a clickbait. People are, but in reality, it takes your body takes time. Although you're young, you can cut it very fast. But realistically, 8 months, 9 months, a year, you'll have the perfect shape. Yes, but more than a week or 2 weeks, that's a story you're solved. You know, human beings psychologically we want easy things. We are hooked. You see, even the videos we do always there's hooking of the viewers. Yes, they want to have apps at easy 4 weeks. You guarantee them with the right. Then they say you buy our product. Now, what is someone is selling you is not the product. He's selling you a laziness. You understand?
Yeah.
You want quick things, you are baited. So slow progress is slow. It takes time, but your why must be pushing you so that you stay in consistency. For example, we are building a personal brand. Our views as of current, since our show is new, can be 100, 200, maximum 300 views. Maybe 10 years from now, maybe it can be 1,000. But we don't care who's watching, the number of watchers. We care is if 3 people watch us, who will change their life, who will learn something from this show. Yes, that's our main thing. So it's a slowly process. Consistency. As long as you have a big why, consistent will be slow, but you start and then you track your wins, daily win. Today I've won this, tomorrow this, slowly. The Chinese saying a journey of a million steps starts with one step. So we go one step at a time. Yeah, I'm building personal brand. I'm building this show, Dove Media. Inshallah, this media, I want it to be a business-related media. But already we started, already facing challenges, as you know.
Yeah.
But still, I'm recruiting staff. I want to get the right people. But the idea stays with me. And then slowly, one podcast a week. I think the other channel, inshallah, it's going to grow. Have stories of other entrepreneurs as I plan. So I think consistency can be developed with a big ambitions. You are always supposed to build your consistency. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I think from there, maybe I give out that piece of advice that I've learned from the story.
Yeah.
And this may also go to my director
or
our director.
Thank you.
I think he's one of the guys who fears a lot to start.
Yeah.
So maybe to that viewer who has been watching us, listening to us, and you have been planning to start, you have been fearing to start. So what I may advise you is stop what you're doing, just start, because you don't need a permission to start, or you don't need capital to start. It only requires the courage and consistency,
yeah.
And what else?
Courage.
Yeah, just start with the one act of value, and let the journey unfold itself. And I promise you, that's what I have learned from my colleague here.
Yeah.
I know when I say my colleague, my director, Mr. Mwinyi, will follow me after this and tell me, give me something. But I think, thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed, for these wise teachings of today.
Yes.
I've learned very many things of starting, fearing to start, and I think from today, I think I'm going to start something that I've been fearing to begin. Thank you so much. Maybe your last words to the viewers.
Thank you, Rajab. We all know one time or the other, everyone is in stages of his life. Maybe your early stage of your life, maybe in the middle or somewhere, at least as I'm now heading my 30s, early 30s, alhamdulillah. More years to come. Another person who is 60 years sees me as a young man, but as you're younger than me, I think you have also more years ahead of you. One thing, and the last piece is, before fear and everything, let's stack on skills. Skill stacking, one skill at a time. Always I encourage the first ever skill. Someone you want to put bread on your table is selling skills. Did I say every time? Yes. You must know how to sell. You know, when you are selling, you're not, sometimes when you're going for top job, you're supposed to sell yourself. You want to be appointed a position of ministerial. Even you want to get a presidential vote. What are you doing? Life revolves around sales. You must know how to sell yourself, how to position. You want to negotiate a salary raise. How will you negotiate? Give me. No. You're supposed to bring and play a psychological game that you bring on your value on the table. When someone sees without you, without this, you know, you are selling without you, he knows that he's better off or he's worse off. Now that's what you sell, not the salary. You know, so you should know number one is selling skills, number one, communication is two, and the rest follows. I think that fear and the other psychological are real, they are natural, but the antidote is supposed to be momentum and actions. So those are my parting shots. Anyone in this world can be successful at his own right. And success does not mean only in business. It can be marriage. It can be jobs. It can be, you know, not everyone is built for business, by the way. That's another.
Yeah, that's
I can't force everyone to be business. There's those professionals we all need. And there are those who, you know, as a businessman also need management level. You can't live without people working with you. Yes,
Yeah.
There are those who build, and there are those who take care of the building. You understand?
Yeah.
You take care of that building in terms of hierarchy, and the rest will eat with you. And God has planned for that, and there is a reason why everyone is working for others as we give everyone's life, as we alert life's bus. You know, life is a bus. Everyone will alert somewhere at a stage, and then drive something else. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you next episode.